Right guys, we are at Analogue Wonderland, where we are going to start our journey from buying the film first of all, and then we'll shoot that film and develop it right next door in their lab. So let's go in and see what they have to offer.
To 6 weeks later.
We just arrived at the Analogue Wonderland lab. We're going to develop these two films which I shot at weddings, so hopefully something will come out of them. We're going to kind of go through the whole journey of the film itself. So we'll start from basically just unpacking it and get to the final images ready to be delivered. So let's go in and see what they can show us. So this is the film I want to develop, and I have Max here with me. Here's the film.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, how do we go about actually getting from the film or roll of film to printed photos or digital photos, or whatever is the last step of me getting my photos?
Yeah, of course. So you've given me a medium format film, 120. So normally we see 35mm, but we also see loads of these as well. And how we would get this to a developed film and then into the scanner is, we have to get it off of the spool. So I use this dark tent here, put my arms in when it's zipped up, and I will take the film out and detach it from the backing paper, take it off with a spool, and I put it into a cartridge, like this one. This is made specially for our Noritsu processor. So when we can get the film in here, we secure it to a leader card, and that together, this will drag the film through the chemistry in the processor, and at the other end it will come out completely dry and developed for you. Then we scan it, and then we check it, and then you get your scans or prints.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're going to destroy this spool completely, but
we keep the spools.
Oh, you do? Okay.
We do, yeah, so customers buy the spools from us,
Okay,
you can
so
get them on the website. No, you don't need to break it. All you need to do is undo the bit of tape, bit of tape on the top, pull it out, and then at the end there's more tape connecting the paper and the film, so you just kind of gently rip that, and then we just tie it all together back into like a cylinder, and then pop it in there. And that's got some felt inside as well, so it won't scratch the film or anything like that. And then that just gets taken through the machine. One cartridge with a film, then we have other tools for like 35mm in case we need to break the canister. And then it depends how it's been secured. Sometimes they're really hard to open, but sometimes, like lomography ones, the tape's really nice and easy to pull off. And then I just feel down until I feel the negative. There we go. So that's it, and then that'll be ready to go into the machine.
Right, so we have the film in the new roll.
Of course.
What do we do with it?
So now this will come over here. So we've got our leader card here. We pop that into position, and then we can secure the cassette down and the negative against that. Cool, so now this is going into our Noritsu processor, and the cartridges are specially made so they fit perfectly. There are holes in the middle, like perforation line in the middle, and then cogs inside the machine will take this through at a certain pace, through developer, bleach, fixer, and stabilizer. So on the screen here it tells us that the machine's ready, green light's on, so we can just close it.
The film is in the machine now. How long does it take, first of all?
Depends on the machine, but usually about 8 or 9 minutes. So it's a mechanical process as opposed to going into the darkroom and doing things in the dark. We can process, you know, up to 50 films an hour with the machine, so it's really good.
We have the machine doing the darkroom work right now, and we won't get the actual photos at the end of it, like printed or anything. It's just going to be the film itself developed, and that's it. Just
in negative form, yeah, exactly. So like we talked a bit off camera before about printers that are like these machines as well, so they put the paper through the developer, the bleach and everything like that, and then it comes out as a printed photo, and they're laser printers, so the negative wouldn't go into that. The negative would still go from here to the scanners we've got in the corner over there, and then you can choose what to do with it after. Like we personally at the Wonderland will send the photos digitally first, because we want customers to choose only the prints they want. We don't want to send them a whole batch of photos and half of them get chucked away, because it's a waste, to be honest.
Can you talk me through the quality difference between printed photos and I think we spoke earlier before filming about the limitations or lack thereof with the film itself. So what's the difference between the photo on the film and the printed photos. So obviously there's a limit, I believe, at the stage of the scanner.
Yeah, so the customer will choose what quality of scanner they want. However, to be quite honest, there's not really much of a limit where the negative can go. As long as you've taken a photo and it's well composed, it's completely in focus and sharp. To be quite honest, it's relatively limitless. It's hard to define exactly what the limit might be. We use Nuitsu scanners which can only scan to a certain resolution. We can't go beyond that at the moment here. But there are companies who use drum scanners and other equipment which can really get the most of your photos, and you can blow them up to insane sizes.
So we have the film developed and we can actually see some photos on it, which is always a win. You never know with the old cameras. So what's the next step now? We are scanning them, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's come out of the processor completely ready to go. I've got the scanner ready here. So as I said, the scanner can do both 35mm and 120 medium format. So I've got the medium format carrier in here. We've calibrated and cleaned the machine, so when the light source comes through the bottom and the camera's looking down from the top, you're going to get a really nice clear image. All right, so we just pop that in. So what we normally do with medium format is we tell the machine exactly where the images are, just to make sure we're happy with them. 35mm usually finds them really easily, so we can see that's right, so I just tell it that's it, skip that one, and then just line them all up correctly. It looks overexposed here, or underexposed, but it'll be fine once we actually get to the next screen. This is just a pre-check to make sure we're happy with the condition of the film. If we know that the film should actually look a certain way, we might just tweak it a little bit, but usually we like to leave it as true as possible for the customer. But this looks really well exposed, actually, yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Well done, me.
Well done, yeah, no, completely, yeah.
Honestly, I was actually convinced this is black and white.
Oh, you got a double exposure there.
Oh, really?
That's interesting. Yeah, they're standing and sitting at the same time.
Oh, cool. Okay, I must have forgotten to turn it. But how much control do you actually get in this stage, or in scanning stage, I suppose?
I mean, the possibilities, they're not endless, but it feels like it. So I can bring up another screen where I can change the contrast, the shadows, the highlights, the reds, the blues, everything. After this point, all the films and the scans get sent over to the editing desk, which is just over there. And then we have someone who checks every single photo before it's uploaded to our system.
Honestly, I kind of expected my film to be blank, or maybe not blank, but completely overexposed.
You did say that, yeah, absolutely. No, it was good.
Well, I've got to say that the most stressful part of photographing on film is there anything on the film?
Luckily, most customers do get nearly a full set, but now a lot of shooters are younger and they didn't grow up with cameras in the family. So a lot of maybe 18 to 25-year-olds, they're growing up with just phones, and now they're trying to get into film, and they're having to learn it a bit backwards compared to maybe what you and I maybe learned as kids, having cameras around the house, learning how much light we needed to expose the film correctly. So part of what we do as well is when we communicate with customers, we have to teach them a little bit about that. You can't use a camera indoors without flash, or you need to expose it differently if you're indoors. Like, this lighting doesn't work the same as natural lighting does. So it's really fun, both on the customer side to learn about that, and also on our side to just see customers improving, or seeing how customers are using their film as well. Yeah.
Is it actually growing in terms of numbers, or?
Yeah, I think it will get bigger, just slowly, and it is interesting to see how many more people are taking it up, yeah. Okay, so Conrad, I've got your negatives and your prints in here for you.
Awesome, that's brilliant. It was such a journey, honestly. It's so nice to see like my photos from being shot by myself, obviously, and then developed and printed and delivered. Thank you. So one thing I've noticed by just kind of watching people like edit the photo, not edit really, but like look at the photos, checking them over, I've noticed that there's still a lot of photos in type of like just random stuff happening, like parties and playing pool and kids playing. So it's still same thing as it used to be back in 2000s and 90s and 80s and whatnot. Do you find this to be true when you look at other photos?
Yeah, I mean, we see a completely mixed bag. So I couldn't tell you what we see most of. I think We're seeing more like sports, so we do a lot of work with someone called Miles who runs the Expired Film Club, and he uses us for his like football and cricket and other events he's been doing. And I think since then we've seen more people taking up sport photography with film, which is really great because it's quite a hard thing to do with film. But generally speaking, what we see, parties are a big thing. I think at the moment we've got like Glastonbury's just happened. We'll have Reading Festival, Boomtown coming up, so we always get a bit of like a peak of partying and festivals and stuff like that after those. But generally speaking, it's still a completely mixed bag. You've got the family, you've got the landscape photography, you've got disposable cameras by school kids, stuff like that. So yeah, I could never tell anyone what the thing is we see the most, to be honest, because when we get a film we don't know what's going to be on it. But there's a lot of people who use us for their work as well. So like you've done today, a lot of people use us for their professional stuff, whether it be for fashion or weddings or product photography. So no, it's a really mixed bag. You can see anything, any day.
Can you tell me a bit more about the business itself? You've mentioned that you've been here for 2.5 years?
Nearly that. I think the lab's been going for 2.5 years. I've been here almost 2 years. The owner started this company with his mother Paul and his mother Mary, started there from their house, just in their garage, selling film stock. And through that, they just ramped up, and more people maybe found them somehow. And after a while of selling all this film, they decided they wanted to get into developing, so they opened a lab.
Before coming here, obviously I was aware that it has to be done to some extent by hand. But developing kind of from home, it feels like you send it off and you get it ready made, and it's just, you know, arrives and it's there. You don't feel like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't feel like it's a process. But now seeing that there's actually people there like moving stuff around and you know, putting it in the right way, it's a whole process, and you can see why it has to cost a little bit more than just, you know, buying a SD card and just shooting forever. There has to be some price to it. I
think, yeah, so when I started working in labs, I think the cheapest service was about £4 for developing in prints. But this was a while ago. We paid the living wage, that's one thing we do here. But when it comes to actually the price of chemistries and the price of paper and the price of every part of it, there's so much that goes into giving such a good process now that you're right, people don't see that. And it's maybe not like it was in terms of cost to us either. So yeah, you send off a film and you get back images, and I think sometimes it's good that you're doing videos like this because you can see how much work goes into it. And that was a relatively like calm day you've seen. What
struck me the most while just watching you guys work is that it's not just machines. It's people with actual knowledge, and a huge amount of knowledge as well. So it's not like 5 minutes job. You don't just kind of throw it in the machine and out comes the print on the other side. It's just impossible right now, at least.
Yes.
But yeah, the amount of knowledge you need, especially for like all the manual stuff. Like if you make a mistake, you can destroy like roll film.
That's really important to us. Yeah. So I think one thing we have meetings every week, sometimes daily, but sometimes weekly. And one thing we always drill in, if we feel that maybe we haven't said it in a while, is remember what you're doing, remember what you're handling. You're handling people's memories here. These are really important things, and we only get one chance to develop that film correctly. Yes, okay, once it's developed, we can scan it a few times and we can look at the images as many times as we want, but that developing point, from the minute the film comes in and we check it in to when it's developed, there's a load of risks involved. So the colleagues here, yeah, as you said, they're really well trained. They know when there's an issue, they know what to look out for when they're scanning, and we make sure on developing they're as trained as they can be, because, yeah, as I said, you only get one shot, and each and every film is as important as the next, and they are all so important to us. Yeah.
Your colleague from the Darkroom mentioned that the interview process, for example, actually involves them showing their work, previous work, and I think he said he's done it at home, like developed some film at home,
yes,
brought it here and had to like demonstrate that this is what he's done.
Yeah, you were really lucky with a lot of the people we've had for interviews in the last couple of years, since I've been here anyway, because you're not sure who you're going to get, who's going to have the interest. Obviously our location might put people off or actually be good for people. So yeah, especially with Bav in the Darkroom, he showed us, like he developed his own 110 negatives before, black and white and colour, which is, it's really impressive doing 110 yourself at home. So when we wanted someone to work in the Darkroom with that knowledge, it was amazing to have that. But we've hired for other positions as well, where it's maybe more admin based, or it's more scanning based, or more editing based, and we've always found a colleague who is ready to hit the ground running, but also they need the right training as well, but they've been the right person to get that training as well. So I think you've met a few guys today, and I think you can see how good they are at their jobs.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a huge amount of knowledge, and there's stuff that I never even thought about, honestly. And you kind of think that you know, because we all, at least our generation, lived through it at some point, but you don't really know how much is involved in like developing film properly.
No, I started working in a lab in 2010, so a while now, and I'm still learning nearly every day. There'll be an issue with a negative you see, and I thought I'd seen it all, and now I've got to work out why there's an issue with this negative, or was it us, was it the camera, was it, you know, something else?
Is there anything that you like to, well, not you or the team, would like to do? For example, maybe you want to do, to develop plates or anything unusual like that? Is there anything that you want to do but you can't really right now?
Yeah, I think darkroom printing, like I was saying earlier, so it's kind of going on from the darkroom services. What else can we do? So plates in large format, more experimental stuff, definitely. Using different developers is one thing. People have developed with mint leaves, with coffee, with various other liquids, you know, Guinness they say as well, but everyone always says that's a waste of Guinness, so there you go. But I think, yeah, alternative chemistries is definitely one thing. Maybe looking into more eco-friendly options as well, because we do try to be eco-friendly with our shipping and stuff like that, so there's more in the lab we could be doing like that as well.
I really want to encourage my viewers to start with film photography, because it's such an awesome thing, such an awesome feeling to be able to produce something from scratch. And yes, you do produce the photo when you shoot on digital, but it's not the same, is it? So what would you say is like the best start for someone who never touched analog photography?
The easiest and best way, in my opinion, and you know, this isn't right for everyone, but you can go onto eBay, or you can find maybe second-hand cameras in shops, but if you search for a 35mm point and shoot camera, I mean, there's probably some around here somewhere, but oh, there's not actually. We've got some like proper cameras here, like that, but oh, here we go. So if you were to look for something like this online, and this basically does all the hard work for you, it will know when to use the flash when something's dark, like when you're inside you need to use the flash. So point and shoot cameras are the best way to start, because you just put a film in, and there's usually tutorials on YouTube or anywhere online. You can just search the name of it and it will tell you. But once you've put the film in and you just start clicking, the results you get straight away, you're going to love it. So it's where I started, it's where, to be honest, most of our customers would have started. I would only recommend you start with an SLR camera if you grew up with that, or your parents have used one and you've got someone nearby who can teach you about the aperture and stuff like that. So yeah, point and shoot, go onto eBay, 35mm point and shoot. I reckon from anywhere from £20 up to £100, you can get one of these, and I'd recommend obviously starting at the lower end. Make sure it's been tested, that's key as well, because on eBay it can be obviously a bit risky. And yeah, just put in the film, start going. But I think with Analogue Wonderland here, we've got loads of online resources. We've got like YouTube videos on how to do stuff, recommendations for different films. So we can help you along with your film journey as well.
You just gave me a huge anxiety spike when you opened the bag, and I was like, is there film inside?
No. Yeah, you can tell, I mean, you can see in the window, but
oh yeah, and this one you can, yeah.
Never 100% sure, yeah.
Yeah, I always triple check. It's just such a bad feeling when you just open it and there's film inside, and you just destroyed some photos. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for this. It was an amazing journey, honestly. I'm really looking forward to perhaps seeing you guys again when you grow, when you have more equipment and can do more stuff.
Definitely have you back. Yeah. Today's been really fun. It has been really fun. Thanks, Conrad.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Cheers.